Relationships I've ruined over the years because not only did I suck at relationships, I sucked at life. Part 1. My first monogamous relationship happened when I was in a mental institution for kids. It sounds pretty crappy, but for me, it wasn't bad at all. I had never gotten that much positive attention from women. I was desirable. My stories were interesting. I was a hit with the ladies, and one of them in particular. A mental institution for kids, at least what I experienced, was either kids that tried to commit suicide or kids that cut themselves. I was neither, and I'll get into why I was in the R wing for kids at a later time. Of all the girls showing me interest, one caught my eye immediately. If you know love at first sight, if you've ever felt that, perfect example. This is what that was. Let's call her Joy because she was born on Christmas. Joy was in there for a suicide attempt. Pills at my best guess. Joy was an incredible artist. Soon after her arrival, they brought in her art supplies and she began to dazzle everyone. After Joy was in for a few days, I found a note under my pillow. She had written me a love letter. That love at first sight feeling hit her too. That night when we were in the rec room watching movies, we held hands under the covers. What an amazing spark. Joy was only in the R Wing for kids for a couple of weeks. She left before me, but she called me every single night and we talked until they kicked us off the phones. Joy was not allowed to visit me in this particular hospital that we were in together. If you've heard of rehab romances, they're like that, but much more intense. You fall hard, you fall fast, so they don't encourage it. Obviously, could lead to further mental relapses in the future. About a month after Joy discharged, I transferred hospitals and she was able to visit me in this new hospital. Not only was Joy artistic, but she was aesthetically pleasing as well. All the pictures she mailed and left with me were modeling pictures. And when I entered the new hospital, I bragged about having a model girlfriend. No one believed me, and why would they? We are all a bunch of Looney Tunes in the mental institution. Once I got my visitation privilege, Joy came to visit me, and everyone had to eat their words. Now we're about to have our first visit, our first time alone. I say that Joy and I had time alone, but the truth of the matter is that her sister was in the room. She was nice enough to turn her chair around and give us her back. That first visit is one of my top 10 kisses ever, easily. Young love, am I right? And this brings us to the title of this short, Relationship Fumbles. There's going to be two main fumbles here. One is the virginity lies, which I did touch base on in another short. Joy was a virgin and I had lied, telling her that I had all sorts of experience. I'm supposed to be taking her virginity and we'll soon find out I have no idea what I'm doing. The second main fumble is what we're going to call the Lord Varys experience. Lord Varys is in Game of Thrones. He's also a eunuch. With my diagnosis, as well as my previous ADHD diagnosis, I was pumped full of a cocktail of medication, and it definitely affected me down there. You might as well call me a eunuch. I get discharged, Joy shows up, and she is hot to trot. We wait for my aunt to go to bed. I do my best to not only take her virginity, but to lose mine. Unfortunately, it was fumble-rooski. I was all thumbs. I had no idea what I was doing, and the necessary parts were not working. Joy kindly told me that everything is fine. You know, we'll have more opportunities to get the job done. And she was right. And I ended up failing on every single one of them. Joy had a long list of suitors that was literally waiting for me to fuck it up so they could move in and finish the job. After a few months, Joy was still a virgin and was growing very weary and tired of those long-ass makeout sessions, magic fingers on her back. She was experiencing everything except what her body was yearning for most. Surely she had figured out that I too was a virgin, having no idea what to do. She started coming around much less frequently. She started answering her phones much less frequently. My heartbreak was real. One of my last ditch efforts was to dedicate her a song by Ace of Base called The Sign. I'm not very smart. I'm not attentive to the words. I don't know what many songs mean. I dedicated her Ace of Base, The Sign, to which she replied, "This song is about breaking up." She said the song is about moving on, the exact opposite message I was trying to send. This was my first heartbreak, and it floored me. I would sit by the phone for weeks. It would never ring. I got so pathetic that if I had to go outside to get the mail or run to the store, I would come home and star 69 to see who had called, and it was never her. She moved on, and chalk it up. I've messed up my first relationship. Many more to come.